Hi, welcome to my studio. I'm Sarah, and this week I'm continuing my series of Star Wars art prompts. Prompt number 9 is lightsaber battle. I picked the one between Obi-Wan Kenobi and Darth Vader in Kenobi because the lighting is really cool in that scene, and I thought it would be a lot of fun to draw. I'm going for more realism compared to my recent art, not completely realistic though. I think my paper is a bit too small for the details needed for that. There was a lot of experimentation in this drawing. Drawing the folds on Obi-Wan's draping sleeve was fun. I'm really happy with how his hands turned out. For once I drew hands that look right on the first try. It took a couple of tries, but I actually got Vader's helmet to look right. Any face at this angle is kinda hard to draw, let alone a mech type mask, which I always have trouble with. But I got all the angles right. I started to use a black colored pencil for Vader's cape, but there's hardly any shading on it at all, so I decided to fill it in with a black marker instead. Saves my hand a lot of cramping. I do find it funny. This more bluish purple I'm using is called Imperial Blue, which fits. I messed around with layering the colored pencils and the markers. I definitely would not use the marker over wax-based colored pencils unless you're using a colorless blender or are trying to wash out what's underneath. At least that's what happened with this black. I loved adding all of the subtle colors to the mask, adding the blue and red glow from the lightsabers with the purple in the middle. Adding highlights with a white gel pen is one of my favorite things. It makes everything pop and look all shiny. For the background, I lightly put down black, with it a little darker at the edges to give a vignette effect. Then I took my light blue and blended the black out with circular motions. My arm was pretty tired after that, but it gave a nice effect. If this was a more detailed background, blending edges together with a circular motion would make it look blurred out. On another note, I can't really rank a few of these, but these are my top 5 lightsaber battles out of the entire Star Wars franchise. Ahsoka Tano vs Darth Maul in the Clone Wars definitely makes it first on the list. Hands down the best lightsaber fight in my opinion. It's pretty crazy to me that real people choreographed this with motion capture suits. Darth Vader vs Obi-Wan Kenobi in Revenge of the Sith. This one is just iconic. The music is epic, the dialogue is so quotable, the choreography is insane, albeit overly show-offy in some parts. It was such a sad fight though. Next is Darth Maul and Savage Opress vs Darth Sidious in the Clone Wars. This particular one isn't one of my favorites, but the fighting is pretty epic, so it still made it on the list. The different lightsaber and force moves are so cool to watch, and Sidious is brutal. Next is Ahsoka Tano vs Darth Vader in Rebels. It's a shorter fight, but Ahsoka is so overpowered here, and her line of "I am no Jedi" is iconic. The fact that she held her own against Vader is impressive, and her slashing off his mask. Lastly, Obi-Wan Kenobi vs Darth Vader in the Kenobi Show. This is the one I'm drawing right now. The lighting is incredible, especially the symbolism for a couple of parts, with the red versus the blue glow on Vader. And oh my goodness, the feels in this scene. Some people were kinda mad because it was Ahsoka's thing, but I thought it was a really cool parallel when Obi-Wan slashed off the side of Vader's mask. Plus the fact that it was the opposite side that Ahsoka cut off. What are your top lightsaber battles? Comment them down below. So normally you wouldn't want to shade using black because it makes the colors muddy and dull. However, in this picture it's nighttime, so the darks are the darkest they can be. I even color picked my reference to be sure. What I'm doing is putting black down first and then layering the reddish color on top, so it's not pure black since I'm blending in this dark red. Another thing that helps is using transitional shades, colors in between the light and dark to make the blending a little less stark. So I have this bright red for my lightest and then a more normal red in between it and the dark red to make the transition softer. I was really nervous to color Obi-Wan's face. The way the lighting is from the lightsabers, there's hardly any normal skin colors. It's all pink and purple. I was questioning if I was doing it right. At this point, with nothing blended, I felt like it looked like a Van Gogh portrait or something. Without coloring his section of the background, it was even harder to see that these colors were right. Color theory is crazy though, because in the end, it somehow looks right in like skin. I said I wanted to mess around with color theory more. I just had to keep layering colors, darkening some areas and making other spots lighter. Thank you so much for watching. What do you think? I think this is one of my favorite pieces. If you have any questions, feel free to leave them in the comments. May the Force be with you, and don't forget, Jesus loves you!